In a landmark decision, the Court of Final Appeal has ruled that the government failed to set up an alternative framework for the recognition of homosexual relationships. But the city's top court rejected granting full marriage rights to same-sex couples or recognize homosexual marriages conducted overseas. Janice Low reports.
Back in 2013, activist Jimmy Sham married his male partner in New York. But Hong Kong does not recognize local and overseas homosexual marriages because there's no related law. In his bid to win recognition, the former convener of the now-defunct Civil Human Rights Front applied to the city's highest court for a judicial review after being denied by the lower courts. Handing down its ruling this afternoon, a 5-judge panel led by Chief Justice Andrew Zhang granted Sham a partial victory. In a 3-2 vote, the judges said the SAR government has failed to carry out a positive obligation to set up an alternative framework to recognize homosexual relationships. As such, it was unable to provide appropriate rights to Sham. Patrick Keane agreed with fellow judges Roberto Ribeiro and Joseph Falk that same-sex couples need an alternative framework to satisfy basic social needs and be recognized legally. In this way, they said, homosexuals would not see themselves as inferior and think that their relationships do not deserve recognition. The court declared that without an alternative framework, the government is violating the rights that Sham is entitled to under Article 14 of the Bill of Rights Ordinance. The administration will have 2 years to comply once the final order on the issue is made. But the judges unanimously quashed Sham's appeal for full marriage rights and recognition of same-sex marriages officiated overseas. This is because the Basic Law and the Bill of Rights Ordinance confine marriage to heterosexuals. Sham has been detained since 2021 for an alleged national security offense. Janice Low, HKIBC.
Equality concern groups have hailed the judgment as a major victory.
This is a significant judgment. It will have serious and long-term impacts on the recognition and treatment of same-sex couples here in Hong Kong and those who are coming from abroad. The court is saying there should be something similar to, but not the same as, marriage that provides them with a status that will give them protection. In doing so, the court is giving the government a wide margin of discretion. The government has 2 years to think about an appropriate status that will give, in substance, the correct protection owed to families of same-sex couples.
The fight for inclusion by the LGBTQ community has been going on for years. In 2019, civil servant Angus Lam won an appeal against the government's refusal to grant his same-sex partner spousal benefits. A year ago, the top court ruled that the Immigration Department had acted unlawfully by not granting a dependent visa to QT, a British national whose same-sex partner worked in the city.